Okay, hi guys, welcome back to the Audio Levels channel. Welcome back to another review and welcome back to another edition of stuff we didn't need. Well, we kind of do, we kind of don't. Let me explain. This is the Tangzu Zetian Wu Heyday edition, and you can see by this little logo here that has been tuned in collaboration with HBB, and it's taken me a while to get up to speed with all this because for a while I didn't know what this logo meant. I don't watch any reviews. I don't really watch YouTube in general. I don't read any of the forums. I'm completely removed at this point. I just don't have time to do that among listening to gear myself, and as many of you know on this channel, this is not my job. This is not what I do for a living. This is the Wu Zetian Heyday edition. Now the original Wu Zetian or Zetian Wu was an earphone that I reviewed last year, and I really liked it. It fell into the top three: the Shure S12 Pro, the P1, and this one, the Wu, or the other version of this, the Wu, was to me like the top three planar magnetic earphones on the market at that time, and it was definitely something I recommended. So to see them go ahead and bring out a collaboration model is just mind-blowing. I don't understand the purpose of this crap that's going on right now in the hobby. Well, I do understand the purpose. The purpose is to sell units and shove units down your throat by having them retuned by your favorite reviewer. Just for full disclosure, I've been asked to I've been asked to collaborate before, and I've turned it down because I don't have the confidence in it that I'm going to produce a good earphone, nor do I have a particular curve that I am strictly adherent to. I don't really give a crap about a curve, because in certain situations different curves are going to fit my preference and my way of listening. So I'm more of the person that likes to listen to what the engineers are producing. There's certain companies I really trust, like The Audio, Kinera, because my favorite earphones are the Kinera Skulled, and I'm happy to say that on camera. Like, I really like this, so you might like it too. I have no interest in trying to tune earphones. I'm not an audio engineer. I'm somebody with an opinion of what I like. Do I think that there's a place for this? Because I know that there's a guy, Zeos, Crinical, and HBB, and maybe some more now are getting in on the act, because if they've asked me, you know, they've probably asked more people to do this. I think there really is a place for this in the marketplace. I think that when you're talking about one of these guys producing their own earphone from the ground up with a specific goal in mind, that they want this sort of tuning, they want these drivers used, they want this housing with this quality and this look to it, then that's the way to go with it. But by doing this, like taking an existing earphone, which this earphone still sounds 90% the same as the other one, with the exception of the sub bass is a little bit lower on the Heyday edition. The work's been done by the engineers at Tangzu. Give them the credit for what they've done. They've put it together, they've made it good. I don't know the motivations behind, I don't know the agreements behind these people putting their names on products. I don't care personally if somebody's making profit off it, or if they're not making profit off it, or if they're just doing it because they enjoy it. But I just feel like in the case of earphones that are already existing and established as good earphones, you're doing two things. You're taking away credit from the original designers, and you're also, by releasing a new version of it like a couple of months after, you're detracting from the person that's already purchased this product. You know, a usual product cycle would be a year, 2 years. I know Chi-Fi moves fast, but to release the Wu, get traction on it, and then 3-4 months later come out with a completely new model is a little bit of a slap in the face to anybody that's bought it before. Anyway, let's take a look at it on its own, because it does have a few qualities that I do like a lot more. The housing, for example, the cable is definitely worth the $50 price point increase, and it's still a fantastic sound earphone regardless of this. It's just I don't see the necessity in this case of doing this sort of thing. The presentation, the box, really, really cool, eye-catching, like that. But then you get into the internal box, really premium feeling, really, really like that. You get the little letter from the company, nice touch on it. And then you get the actual presentation. The presentation is stunning. This feels really, really premium. And even though it's a sort of generic-y styled case, the touches on it are a lot nicer. Now you could get a DAP in here, a small DAP, but the wrapping system for your earphones, you'll see here, earphone with a cable wrapped around the outside. I think that's a nice little touch, keeps them nice and secure, and some room up top for some accessories. Speaking of accessories, the cable on this one is fantastic, and I'm going to show you exactly why I like it so much. It is a quad braid and not a quad twist, which we're seeing a lot recently, and it has a beautiful flow to it. It's very nicely constructed. I think it looks great in this colorway. And it's got meaty hardware on it, and of course it's that detachable interchangeable balance plug system, this 3.5mm regular, 4.4mm balance, and the old 2.5mm balanced. I just really like the cable. I think it's extremely well made. Perhaps this is a bit chunky and a little bit too long, but I'd rather have that than something that's more flimsy. Metal splitter, metal cable cinch, and just the right amount of length on the cable guides there. It's a really, really nice cable. They should sell this separately. It's a very, very nice job, and we'll do the test on it. Sits perfectly. So can't say enough good things about that. The other thing that is really enjoyable, you get all the ear tips in there. Now again, as always, I use these for testing purposes with the ASLA ZenFits. Link in the description. The best tips on the market, bar none. ASLA ZenFits, go and look at them, or Sendna Fits. They're just super grippy and form a really good seal with your ears. Now, let me just take that off. What is different here, like the faceplate design is very similar to the original, if you remember the purple housing on it, but this one has a nicer color, I'm not going to lie. But also they've replaced the resin body with metal. Now that adds quite a bit of weight to it, and you do feel that weight when it's in your ears, but it's not something that is prohibitive to the use. You get little venting on it there, you get metal grills, non-recessed 2-pin connectors, which is very good, and it's just a very, very nicely made earphone. It feels a little bit chunkier than the original ones, but once you have it in the ear, as long as you have medium to large size ears, you're going to be just fine with this. Now the wide bore tips on it add a little bit of air. The ASLA's did increase the bass back to the level that I would have expected from the original Wu Zetian, or Zetian Wu. I'm so bad at saying that. Zetian Wu. Anyway, how do they sound? They sound 90 to 95% the exact same as the other ones. The only noticeable difference going backwards and forwards with the two of them in testing was the presence of sub bass, especially at the start of 2 feet, quick musical doodles. You have that intro bass drop. It is deeper, noticeably deeper on the original Wu, but not to the extent that this feels overly bass light or anything. It's just a little bit more neutral towards the mid-range. Treble, I didn't notice much difference, and the mid-range I didn't really notice much difference on it. All the good qualities of the original Wu, that transparency, the openness, the imaging, soundstage, it's still all there, so you're getting that more. But what I did notice was just maybe a little bit of sheen on the top end on this one, and I can't be sure why that is, because it doesn't sound like a tuning difference. It just sounds like that little harshness, like a tiny little bit in some tracks. Was it Autumn in New York? The cymbal splashes on some jazz tracks sounded a little bit more splashy. Now I'm really nitpicking here, but I don't know if that's just perception because it's got a metal housing and it's messing with my brain and thinking that you can't be you can't be certain. Like, you got to understand that the way something looks and the way something feels can also affect your perception of how it's going to sound. You want something to sound good, it's going to sound good to you. You want something to sound bad, it's going to sound bad to you. So you need to try and objectively try and separate that. But for me, it is so similar sounding that it was unnecessary, because I actually prefer the meatier bass, or the deeper sub bass on the other one. Again, it is horses for courses, so it is so minimal that if you're looking for the upgrades in the metal body and the cable, then by all means it's still a very, very good purchase and one to look at. The only thing is, you're taking it into the realm of other earphones like 7Hz Timeless and other stuff like that. Raptico Hook X, that's another one that they did. The Hook X, I don't feel needed modification, but they did a Raptico Hook X HBB. Just create a new earphone. In short, would I buy this? Yes, I would consider buying it, because it feels like a far more premium earphone than the original. Would I prefer this body and this cable and presentation and everything with the original tuning? Yeah, I still slightly would have preferred that. But either way, it's still got to be considered in the top 5 planar magnetic earphones. And that's kind of where it is. But it's not really off the back of a collaboration. It's off the back of what Tangzu did themselves in creating the Woo and putting it all together, and with the original tuning and the elements of that still remain, that make it such a fantastic earphone. So credit where credit's due to Tangzu. I think at this point we're getting really saturated with these collaborations, and again, I know why it's done. It's the companies are latching on to an audience of people that have far more subscribers than me. But I want to see, if somebody's tuning their own earphones, I want to see them, what they can do, like give the input from the ground up, and let's see, make the earphone rather than modify the earphone. Would be the way I would like to see it done. But I'm no industry expert, and it all comes down to what's going to sell and sticking what's name on. But I tell you, there's a lot more risk with building something from the ground up than there is modifying something that's already widely regarded to be excellent. That's a low risk maneuver in comparison with building it from the ground up. And credit to this guy, I don't know about the others, but credit to this guy, he has released a few good earphones that are completely independent of their own making. I can't remember the names of the ones, but there are some that I'm sorry, the only ones I'm thinking of are Lena, but I don't think they were the best example of it. There was a cheap one that he brought out last year that was really good. So it's no knock against the ability to tune, because the tuning on some of the earphones is really good, and I just prefer that way. I prefer to see, like, if there's going to be a new earphone, like, make it from the ground up and keep this separate. Competition, you're still looking at the Tin Hi-Fi P1 Plus, the Raptico Hook X HBB, I guess. What's the other one? The original Wu Zetian. If you prefer the tuning and you don't mind the plastic on the body, that's a good one to go for as well. And Timeless still have a good few models in there as well. It's starting to get very saturated in the planar space. Some of them are bringing different tuning, but they're losing that quality that made it so special. Not this one in particular, because it has that special quality. But the special quality of that 3D holographic presentation everybody talks about is being a little bit lost and diluted from what we got with the original Tin Hi-Fi P1, what made the technology so good. And I've talked about how I think that the companies accidentally hit a home run with the planar, and had they known how good it would be received and how capable a driver is for full spectrum audio reproduction, I think they would have priced them higher at the box. So these still remain like very, very close to the performance of $500 earphones, $500 earphones in my mind. I just think that planar is one of these sweet technologies. Really, really exciting. So it's definitely another good earphone. And Tangzu yet again showing that they can put together a very, very tasty little package for the consumer. So thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, etc., and I will see you on the next video, which is probably going to be the Nana.